When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the college entrance examination. There was chaos in front of me, and Jiang Song rushed to the police like crazy. "You found Xiao Xian, right? I want to save her too. She can't live without me." I was dizzy. And then I realized that I had returned to 10 years ago. Who could have thought that the red-eyed boy in front of me would cut my flesh inch by inch 10 years later, watching my body gradually soaked with blood, and lose his child. Jiang Song's mother couldn't stop him, and turned her head and called me anxiously, "Xiao Yu, you come and persuade him too. He listens to you the most." Jiang Song also kept glancing at me, as if he was waiting for me to stop him. There was still an hour before the college entrance examination. I ignored the farce around me and packed my stationery and admission ticket. "Aunt Jiang, if Jiang Song wants to go, let him go. Why stop him? That's a life. It's the college entrance examination." "It's okay." To repeat a year, Jiang's mother was stunned. Jiang Song seemed to have not expected me to say that, and his movements paused for a few seconds, but soon, he gritted his teeth and became even crazier, and 3 adults couldn't hold him back. "Let me save Su Xian, I have to save her." I watched coldly, sneering in my heart. Jiang Song and Su Xian have been childhood sweethearts, and Jiang Song and I only knew each other in high school. He and I agreed to take the entrance exam for Tsinghua University together, but on the eve of the college entrance exam, Su Xian was kidnapped. After the police found out Su Xian's location, they prepared to start the rescue. He was crazy about going to save Su Xian, and I desperately held him back, allowing him to complete the college entrance exam. Su Xian was later rescued, but her hands were broken. Even after recovery, her hands were always weak. As an art student, she could no longer hold a brush. But I didn't expect that Jiang Song kept blaming me for this, and hated me in his heart. He thought that if I hadn't stopped him, they would have been able to rescue Su Xian earlier, and Su Xian wouldn't have broken both her hands, even though he married me later. He couldn't let go of Su Xian. The better I lived, the more Su Xian's misery was highlighted, and the more he felt that I owed Su Xian. I never found out that he and Su Xian were having an affair. And I just thought he treated Su Xian well because of guilt. I didn't expect that the two of them had been mixed up for a long time. They even imprisoned me in the basement together and tortured me to death. I died quietly in that cold and dark room, but when I opened my eyes, I returned to the day of the college entrance examination when I was 18 years old. I packed up my things and turned to leave. Jiang's mother wanted to stop me, but she couldn't catch Jiang Song. He was in a dilemma and finally watched me leave. When I arrived at the examination room, I let out a breath, calmed down, and focused my mind on the test paper in front of me. Fortunately, although 10 years have passed, my brain has not degenerated, and I can do most of the questions. With the golden finger of rebirth, I wrote more questions than in my previous life. After the exam, I returned to the hotel. Su Xian had been rescued, and her hands were intact. However, Jiang Song's hands and one leg were broken. I frowned slightly. This shouldn't be the case. In the previous life, Su Xian did break her hands, but it wasn't the kidnappers who beat her. She smashed it herself. These were also what Su Xian told me triumphantly when she cut my body with a knife. Those kidnappers were not real kidnappers at all. They were hired by her to act. She liked Jiang Song since she was a child, but her grades were not good. She was afraid that he would really go to Tsinghua University with me and fly away, so she directed and acted in a play, Let Jiang Song Save Her, so as to ruin his college entrance examination and let him stay with her, but I didn't expect that I would show up halfway. Jiang Song was dragged by me to take the college entrance examination, and only the police came to save her. She knew her plan had failed, so she broke her own hands and tied herself to Jiang Song in this way. I still remember that in her previous life, she was in the hospital, and after waking up, she threw herself into Jiang Song's arms and cried, "Brother Song, why didn't you come to save me? Why? My hands were broken by them. What should I do? I can't paint anymore. Woo woo woo." I didn't notice the hateful look Jiang Song cast at me at that time. In her previous life, Su Xian didn't even go to college, so naturally she couldn't find a decent job. Jiang Song felt guilty and treated Su Xian better and better, even taking her to college. Once I was unhappy, he would talk about the college entrance examination to shut me up. If you and I hadn't gone to take the college entrance examination at that time, Xiao Xian's hand wouldn't have been broken. We both owed her this. I wanted to argue, but even Jiang's mother began to persuade me. Just think of it as having a younger sister in the family. Xiao Xian and Jiang Song grew up as siblings. Later, the brother and sister rolled in bed together. After being locked up, I finally understood why Jiang's mother's attitude changed, because at that time, Su Xian was already pregnant with Jiang Song's child. The doctor said it was definitely a son, but in fact, even the so-called injuries on her hands were fake. In the previous life, when Su Xian held the knife and cut my skin, she used a lot of force, but it didn't look like her hands were weak at all. Her hands had long returned to normal, and she had been pretending that she couldn't hold the pen tightly. When Jiang's mother saw Jiang Song covered in blood, her eyes rolled back and she almost fainted, but she didn't faint after all, and she still threw herself on Su Xian's face with great strength. beating and hitting her madly. It's all because of you. It's all because of you that my son has become like this, you evil spirit. Soo Exayan's crying and screaming rang out in the ward. The police rushed up to pull Jong's mother away. And I sorted out the whole story in a few words. It turned out that Jeong Song was impatient and didn't listen to the police's arrangements, and rushed into the kidnapper's room first. As a result, his limbs were broken. Jeong Song woke up from his coma and screamed in fear when he saw his legs were wrapped in thick gauze. He didn't shut up until he learned that his leg injury could heal and he wouldn't be disabled, but the doctor didn't tell him that even if he healed, he would become a cripple. I stepped back and watched their farce with interest. Jong's mother didn't treat Soo Exayan as a half-daughter anymore, and she was going to grab Soo Exayan's face like crazy. It's all because of you, you bitch. My son's hand is broken, he will still be a cripple in the future, now he can't take the exam. It's all because of you. Soo Exayan dodged her eyes, covered her face and cried. Auntie, I'm also very sad that Brother Song was injured. Even if he can't heal, I'm willing to serve him for the rest of my life. Ba, who wants you to serve, you jinx? My son was ruined by you. Jiang Song supported himself and kept dissuading. Mom, how can you blame Xiaoxin? Those kidnappers are too cruel. It's better for me to have a broken arm than for Xiaoxin to have one. She wants to be a painter. My injury is not unhealable. What's wrong with lameness? It just means I walk slower. Brother Song. Soo Exayan looked touched and looked at Jiang Song. I watched this scene and kept rolling my eyes. Why didn't I see it in my previous life? It was so obvious that they were having an affair, probably because Soo Exayan always hugged Jiang Song's arm and smiled in her previous life. Sister Xiaoyu. If I really had something with Jiang Song, how could it be your turn to be with Brother Song? Don't worry, Brother Song and I are really childhood sweethearts. Later. They rolled onto the same bed. I still can't understand why they both like each other, but they have to pretend to be childhood sweethearts and drag others into it. Are they just enjoying the pleasure of this sin? Fortunately, Jiang Song and Soo Exayan can be tied together in this life. Zhang's mother cried for a while, then turned her head to look at me. Her eyes were full of hope, and she held my hand tightly. Xiaoyu, you will help take care of Jiang Song, right? You and Xiao Song have such a good relationship. By the way, you will marry Xiao Song after you go to college, and Auntie agrees that you two will be together. Soo Exayan immediately cast a jealous look. I lowered my eyes, gently brushed her hand away, and whispered, Auntie, I'm only 18 this year. I can't get married. I have to go back to prepare for tomorrow's exam. After that, I left the ward without looking back. As soon as I went out, Jiang Song's nonchalant voice came out. Mom. Don't blame Xiao Exayan. Isn't it enough to rescue the person? I'm not a useless person. At most, I can repeat another year. I'm so smart. It's not like I can't get into Tsinghua University. Indeed, if he performs stably this year, it won't be a problem to get into a 985 next year. But that was when Soo Exayan behaved herself and didn't make trouble. The college entrance examination ended quickly. I was exhausted and lying in the hotel to rest when the door was banged. I opened the door and saw that it was Zhang's mother. She was carrying a lot of bags and was about to rush into my room. I immediately blocked the crack in the door and pressed the door tightly. Is there something wrong? She couldn't get in, so she could only squeeze in while glaring at me. Xiao Song is still in the hospital, and someone needs to take care of him. Go to the front desk now to renew your room and let me move in. We can take turns to take care of him and save the room fee. The hotel that Jiang Song and I stayed in during the college entrance examination was only booked for 3 days. I frowned. Why should I take care of him when he's injured? Shouldn't Soo Exayan take care of him? Mother Jiang continued to glare at me. You are his girlfriend. Isn't it natural to take care of him? Besides, if you hadn't stopped Xiao Song at that time, you were there at that time, and you couldn't stop your son, how could I, who is not related to him, stop him? I have to work part-time during the summer vacation and don't have time to take care of him. The time for this room is up today. If you want to stay, go and renew it yourself. I don't have money. Mother Jiang suddenly raised her voice, and the cleaners passing by cast curious glances at her. Your family is so rich. Why do you still go to work? Isn't Xiao Song's health more important than money now? My face turned cold. Yes, your son's hands and legs are more important than money. So why are you worried about this little room fee? Anyway, I'm leaving. If you are not afraid of being chased out by the security guard, come in and live. After that, I stopped holding the door, and Mother Jiang stumbled and fell into the room. I ignored her, packed my luggage and prepared to leave. At first, Zhang's mother was still leaning over and yelling ouch, ouch. Seeing that I really didn't care about him, she got up, picked up the package and chased me. Grabbed my arm and refused to give in. Where are you going? You are Jiang Song's girlfriend. Jiang Song is in the hospital. You have the obligation to take care of him. Come with me. As she said that, she was about to pull me out. I got angry too, no longer restrained, and pushed her to the ground. When did I become Jiang Song's girlfriend? Didn't you disagree with me being with him? He and I are just ordinary classmates. I'm not his mother, nor his wife. And he didn't get hurt because he saved me, so why should I take care of him? That's right. In my previous life, I liked Jiang Song, but Jong's mother didn't agree with me being with Jiang Song. She looked at me with a nose, saying that their little Song was going to Tsinghua University and Peking University, and that their children's love affairs couldn't affect their studies. It's okay to be with Jiang Song, but you have to wait until he gets into college. Before the college entrance examination, I could only be his friend at best. She acted in a condescending manner, as if she was giving me some great benefit. Although his family background was just ordinary, Zhang's mother still looked down on me. She felt that Jiang Song relied on himself for everything, never attended cram schools, never learned any talents, and it was his own efforts to get into Tsinghua University. Although he has no money now, he is a high-quality potential stock. And I just got a good berth. She felt that with Jiang Song's conditions, he went to Tsinghua University and Peking University. What kind of girl could he not find? Later, Jiang Song still married me, and she also acted as if I was marrying up to his Jiang family. At this moment, Jiang's mother looked stunned. It seemed that she didn't expect that I, who had always been devoted to Jiang Song, would actually say such a thing. After a long while, she gritted her teeth and said, "Okay, okay. You don't want to take care of Xiao Song, right? Don't regret it. I know what Zhang's mother is going to do." She thought she could make me angry, so she pulled Su Xian to take care of Jiang Song. I wish they could stay together every day and get married now, but this is not enough. Blood debt should be paid with blood. Su Xian and Jiang Song like to pretend to be weak, so let them really have nowhere to go in this life. While my parents are not at home, I called Jiang Song on the landline at home, pretending to be very embarrassed. "Jiang Song, my parents know about you, and they don't allow me to visit you, and they have locked me up at home." Jiang Song comforted me. "It's okay, Xiao Yu, I have my mother here. Don't worry, I will be admitted to your school next year." My fingers were carelessly winding around the phone line, and I felt sick just hearing his voice, pretending to sound hesitant. I said carefully, "But Aunt Jiang seems angry." I explained to her, but she didn't listen. What should I do? Does she dislike me again? How could that be? You must be overthinking, Xiao Yu. You can stay at home with peace of mind. I have my mother here, so you don't have to worry about anything. I bit my lip. "Su Xian, is she also with you, Xiao Yu? You won't be jealous again, will you? I really only treat Xiao Xian as my sister, but you didn't even take the college entrance examination, but you insisted on saving her and got injured." Jiang Song's voice became impatient. "I've said I only treat her as my sister. Can you stop thinking too much? I would save my own sister if she was kidnapped, okay? Hang up, don't let your parents hear it." Before I could say anything, there was a beep 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 sound of hanging up the line in the receiver. Jiang Song should be so happy now that he is sure that I can't go over. With Su Xian accompanying him all day, he will definitely not be seen by me. I sneered. "Jiang Song, you and Su Xian will be locked together for life. She dragged you into the quagmire and you will never be able to turn over." When the admission letter came, Jiang Song's injury was almost healed. He looked at my admission letter with envy. "You can come to my school next year. I will wait for you." I deliberately held his hand tightly, my eyes full of admiration. Sure enough, Su Xian's expression immediately became gloomy, staring at the admission letter in my hand. I continued to stimulate her. "Jiang Song, you must study hard this year. Don't take it lightly just because you are repeating the year. If you can't get into my school, I will break up with you." I said the truth with a fake anger, and Jiang Song was still unaware. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, Xiao Yu, I will definitely pass the exam." I looked at Su Xian with a smile. "Well, I can rest assured that Xiao Xian will take care of you. Su Xian, you must not disappoint my expectations." After Jiang Song decided to repeat his senior year, Su Xian also repeated his senior year. She said she felt sorry for Jiang Song and wanted to spend this year with him. She was so excited that her eyes were shining that she could have Jiang Song all to herself for a year. Jiang Song also enjoyed it. This year, he didn't need to be watched by me. He could do whatever he wanted with Su Xian in the name of childhood sweethearts. He can continue to be with me in college, and directly save 10 years of hard work. Zhang's mother was not happy. She looked down on Su Xian, but how could she control Jiang Song? Sure enough, when I just reported to the university, my cousin told me that Jiang Song had been hanging out with Su Xian recently. My cousin is 1 year younger than me, and Jiang Song happened to be in the same class with her after repeating his senior year, but neither of them knew the relationship between my cousin and me, and just thought she was an ordinary female classmate. That Jiang Song, he always pretends to have a sore hand so that Su Xian can feed him. He walks with a limp, so Su Xian supports him all day long. Wherever he goes, Su Xian goes there, just like a disabled person. My cousin said this with a look of disgust on her face. Jiang Song was not discriminated against because of his limp, but instead regarded it as a medal of honor. Telling classmates that he was brave and got injured to save others would make classmates tisk in admiration. It's too late to admire him, who would look down on him. I told her not to observe them too obviously, and not to take it too seriously, just tell me the more important things. In the first monthly exam after school started, Jiang Song won the first place in the class. This won't do. If it continues like this, if I go, he will really come to my place. I thought about it and posted a circle of friends. I miss you in the first month I can't see you. The picture is the $10 crystal necklace that Jeong Song bought me when I just met him. I set it to be visible only to Soo Exayan and Jeong Song, and soon Jeong Song liked it. Baby, you still have this necklace? Don't worry, we will meet soon, wait for me, I sneered disdainfully, and after taking the photo, I threw the necklace into the trash can. Soo Exayan also liked it, but quickly cancelled it, probably because she slipped her hand. I can imagine her jealous and hateful expression. Sure enough, the next day, I saw an identical necklace in Soo Exayan's circle of friends. She said it was a birthday gift from someone. It's clear who this someone is. I don't think Jeong Song would blatantly give her a gift like the one he gave me. His plan was to hook me up and use my family's influence to save him 10 years of hard work. On the other hand, he secretly played a brother-sister with Soo Exayan, and when he could get rid of my family's control, he would confront me. When he was so poor, he couldn't really do something out of the ordinary. At most, he would play a little tricky and be ambiguous. The most likely thing was that Soo Exayan bought it herself. In this way, for more than half a year, I had been showing off my and Jeong Song's bits and pieces to Soo Exayan, which aroused her anger. Finally, she couldn't help it and sent me a 60-second voice message. When I opened it, I heard a barrage of curses. I frowned slightly and ended the playback after listening to the first few seconds. Don't be delusional, brother Song likes me, he doesn't like you at all, I typed carelessly. He likes you, then why haven't you been with you for so many years, sister? Jeong Song has already said that he will be with me after the college entrance examination. What about you? Can you follow Jeong Song now? Can you go to the same university as Jeong Song? I'm afraid you can't even stay in the same city. Soo Exayan became more and more angry and sent a voice message viciously. Why can't I go to the same school as brother Song? You wait. After listening, my roommates looked at me in surprise and asked me what good thing happened to me and why I laughed so loudly. I wiped the tears from my eyes and said, my ex-boyfriend has a terminal illness and is dying. My cousin told me that Jeong Song began to miss classes frequently. The teacher also criticized him many times, saying that although he is a seedling of Tsinghua and Peking University, he should not be taken lightly. Jeong Song nodded to the teacher and turned around to miss classes. When Jeong's mother scolded him, he said that the pressure was too great and he needed to relax. In short, he just relied on his foundation and did whatever he wanted. This is also a common problem for repeaters. The vast majority of repeaters who fail to improve their scores are because of this mentality, arrogant. I also know that this is all Soo Exayan's fault. She dragged him to KTV and stayed up all night in the internet cafe. She took him to experience the so-called youth that he had never experienced before. Once he felt uneasy and wanted to go back to school, Soo Exayan told him that with his ability, even if he didn't learn the things he had already learned, he could easily get into Tsinghua or Peking University. Jeong Song quickly fell into it. So when he called me and said that he didn't get into Tsinghua, I was not surprised at all. This year, Soo Exayan dragged him around and had fun everywhere. He was lucky to get into a 211 university, but I didn't expect Soo Exayan to be so crazy. She changed Jeong Song's college entrance examination application. It was changed to the second-tier university where the junior college she got into was located, but it was also in Beijing. Soo Exayan wanted to be with Jeong Song, but she couldn't reach Jeong Song's level, so she would definitely pull him down. In the last life, Jeong Song had guilt towards her, and I cleaned up their butts. What do they have in this life? When all the previous feelings are exhausted, there will only be hatred. Jeong Song was almost mad, his eyes were about to spit fire, and his fists were cracking. Soo Exayan huddled up in fear, crying breathlessly, brother Song, don't be angry, woo-woo, I'm afraid that you will forget me after going to school, I'm afraid that you don't want me, woo-woo. So you changed my college entrance examination wishes? Soo Exayan continued to cry, because I want to be with you too much. If you go to the same school as Shinyu, you will definitely not remember me. Jeong Song was moved by her tears again. Even though he was about to be hurt, he didn't have the heart to continue scolding her. He said irritably, okay, don't cry, I don't blame you. Soo Exayan looked up carefully, brother Song, are you going to repeat a year? Jeong Song took out a cigarette and lowered his head to puff. This is also what he learned from Soo Exayan in the past year. I won't repeat the year, it's a waste of time, we're all in Beijing anyway. Although Jeong Song was willing to let Soo Exayan go, Jeong's mother wouldn't. Before the college entrance exam, she had been bragging to her relatives and neighbors that her son would definitely be admitted to Tsinghua University or Peking University. In the end, he ended up in a second-tier university. You can imagine how embarrassed she was. She was not as soft-hearted as Jeong Song when it came to Soo Exayan. Bitch, my son has been ruined by you, it's all because of you. All her anger was vented on Su Exayan. Jiang's mother grabbed Su Exayan's hair and slapped her a dozen times. It's not enough that you've harmed my son this year. You even changed my son's college entrance exam application. Let's go. Follow me to the police station. I'll send you to jail today. Su Exayan was really scared this time and cried heartbreakingly. Her cheeks were red and swollen, and she shook her head and backed away. Auntie, I didn't mean it. I was just possessed by a ghost. I'm sorry. Woo woo woo, the noise attracted all the neighbors, but no one came to stop the fight. They all watched the fun from the side. Su's father and mother tried their best to persuade them, while Jiang Song shrank aside and dared not speak. Perhaps he was afraid that Jiang's mother would ask him why he repeated a grade. But his score was more than 200 points lower than before. In the end, the farce ended with the Su family guaranteeing to compensate the Jiang family 100,000 yuan. When Jiang Song stammered and told me that he was admitted to a second-tier university, I acted very considerate. It's okay, I understand that repeating a year is very stressful. Fortunately, we are still in the same city. When school started, I went to the station to pick up Jiang Song, and Su Exayan came out from behind him. She smiled complacently. Sister, you, brother Song and I are in the same school. You won't be angry, right? I looked at her and smiled softly. How could that be? I know you take good care of Jiang Song. Looking at Jiang Song again, Song, Auntie said before that we should get married when we go to college. Su Exayan's face changed instantly. I continued, but I think we are both too young, so why not wait until we graduate from college to get the marriage certificate? Jiang Song smiled and said, okay, no problem for me. I smiled at Su Exayan, took Jiang Song's arm and walked towards the exit. I didn't need to look back. I could feel the anger in Su Exayan's eyes burning a hole in me. I started to go to Jiang Song frequently, even skipping classes. After all, I had studied college courses once in my previous life, and I could easily cope with the exams even if I didn't attend classes. My roommates didn't understand why I kept going to find a gangster. Shinyu, don't let him fool you. Men like this like to eat the whole family. I smiled at them. It's okay, I know him, he really likes me. My roommate looked at me with a complicated expression, sighed, and stopped persuading me. Jiang Song was very happy. At first, he was also worried, afraid that I would really break up with him because he only got a second-tier university. What's wrong with a second-tier university? Education is not important to people. When you graduate, I will ask my dad to recommend you to be a leader in the company. Jiang Song was very satisfied, with a cigarette in his mouth. That's right. Who still discriminates against education these days? Scores can't represent everything. Xiaoyu, don't worry. When I enter the company, I will definitely not let my dad down. I smiled at him. Thanks to Su Exayan's efforts, Jiang Song is completely different from his previous life. His cheeks are sunken, his eyes are cloudy, and he is completely different from the spirited boy he used to be. In his previous life, he at least looked decent and wasn't so vulgar. I don't know how Su Exayan's college life was, but Jiang Song's college life was not satisfactory at all. He was completely different from his previous life, and he was also a cripple. He was often laughed at behind his back. College students are much more complicated than his high school classmates. No one would look at him with new eyes just because he said he was injured for being a hero. In addition, I, his official girlfriend, often went to see him, but when I was not there, he often hung out with Su Exayan. Wherever he went, there would be a vague discussion. Jiang Song was born in a single-parent family and was sensitive. After a long time, he felt that everyone in the school looked down on him and had bad intentions towards him. Damn, who are you looking down on? When I become the company's CEO, I will never hire those people into the company. Jiang Song's eyes were red, and he drank the beer and said viciously, and those roommates, they all got into a lousy second-tier university, and they are so arrogant all day long. Has he forgotten that he is also a second-tier student now? I hesitated and finally smiled. Jiang Song, your classmates are so annoying. Why don't you move out of the school? Jiang Song's eyes lit up, and he was obviously moved, but hesitant. But the rent, I'll pay it, but I pretended to be embarrassed. You can't sign the contract with my ID card. I'm afraid my parents will find out. Jiang Song nodded repeatedly. Use mine, use mine. I'll go get your ID card now. I quietly raised the corners of my mouth and collected several online loan platforms while he was gone. When Jiang Song and I were together, Su Exayan would always appear inexplicably. Once I was unhappy, Jiang Song would bring out that set of rhetoric again. She is my sister. Which means she is your sister. You are jealous of your own sister. Su Exayan was also very cooperative. She didn't look like she had said harsh words to me before. Sister Xiaoyu, I really only treat brother Song as my brother. Jiang Song smiled and pinched my face. I dodged it with a red face and opened my backpack to find tissues to wipe my face. Su Exayan exclaimed a little. Sister Xiaoyu, this bag you are wearing is a limited edition bag, right? I smiled embarrassedly. Yes. It's a birthday gift from my dad. I didn't want it, but my dad said that girls should at least carry a decent bag when they are outside. Soo Exayan's eyes flashed. Sister Seoyu, I really envy you for having such a rich father. I smiled. If you want to carry it, I'll lend it to you. Soo Exayan looked flattered, but she didn't say anything polite and took it directly. After that, she took advantage of me a lot. She took away brand name bags, cosmetics, and clothes without hesitation. As long as she liked them, she said she borrowed them, but she never returned them. I didn't rush her, but took her to high-end restaurants. She took dozens of photos and posted them on her moments after retouching, and got dozens of likes and envy, seeing Soo Exayan's changes. I became happier and happier. Not only Soo Exayan, but Jeong Song was also affected. Although it is said that gold will shine wherever it is difficult not to be affected in such an environment. Moreover, before the college entrance examination, he was no longer the young man who was determined to work hard. He became addicted to games, and he would charge 648 yuan at a time, and soon his living expenses were all spent. Then he could only ask me for help, and I didn't refuse. At first, he transferred thousands of yuan, and later tens of thousands of yuan. I marked all these transfers as loans. Jeong Song asked for this for his self-esteem, and I wanted it. He soon became addicted to more than just games. He had no money to buy branded shoes, branded mobile phones, and branded clothes, so he had to borrow from me. He became an expert at clubbing. I used internship as an excuse to reduce the number of times I met him. He was more free. I contacted him 10 times a week, and 9 times he asked me to borrow money. Jeong Song, my parents said they want to discuss marriage. They want to hold the wedding first and buy our wedding house. I deliberately said these words to Jeong Song when Soo Exayan came over again. Jeong Song was surprised and happy. Really? Then I'll ask my mom to come over and meet my parents-in-law. Also, my parents said that they want to send us abroad, get some experience and then come back, so that it will be easier to find a job. Of course, my parents will pay for all the expenses. Before Jeong Song spoke, Soo Exayan screamed first, "Go abroad, brother Song, you can't leave me and go abroad." Jeong Song was still thinking, and was interrupted by her, so he was naturally not happy. Why can't I go abroad? Can't you see me doing well? Soo Exayan bit her lip and couldn't speak. I glanced at her calmly. Her face was as white as paper, and her nails were embedded in her palms, leaving a lot of pinch marks. I leaned on Jeong Song's arms with a smile. We are getting married, so you can't do anything to let me down, otherwise, I will never forgive you, Jeong Song promised repeatedly. And Soo Exayan's face became even gloomier. In a place where they couldn't see, I couldn't help sneering. Soo Exayan was pregnant. Soon, the father was also exposed. Their grade caused a small sensation, and Jeong Song was pointed at by people when he walked on the street. Jeong Song knelt in front of me and cried bitterly. Xiaoyu, I was really confused for a moment. I was drugged by that bitch. I didn't realize it at all. I threw the photos of them checking into a hotel on the table. You drugged me once. You checked into a hotel 10 times this month. You drugged me every time. Jeong Song was speechless and could only beg for my forgiveness. Xiaoyu, you know how much I love you. How could I have a child with someone else? I came to Beijing just for you. I was silent for a while and touched the red corners of Jeong Song's eyes. Okay, I can consider forgiving you, but I changed the subject. You must let Soo Exayan abort the child. Jeong Song was stunned. Xiaoyu, she is already 5 months pregnant. What's wrong with 5 months? In my last life, I was tortured to miscarriage at 6 months pregnant. I smiled at Jeong Song. Why? Can't bear to part with her? No, 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 of course not. He shook his head like a rattle. I'll ask her to abort the baby right now. Jeong Song made several calls in a row, but no one answered. He gritted his teeth and cursed in a low voice. Xiaoyu, I'll go to her directly and talk to her face to face. Wait for me, wait for me. I watched him leave and immediately contacted Jeong's mother. I sent her a text message from an unfamiliar number. Soo Exayan is pregnant. Your son, the doctor said it's a boy. Looking at the phone, I slowly smiled. Jeong's mother looked down on Soo Exayan, but she would not bear to part with her eldest grandson. Sure enough, 2 days later, Jeong Song contacted me cautiously. Xiaoyu, I asked Soo Exayan to have an abortion. Really? But I don't know why my mother knew about it, and she refused to allow it. I pinched my thigh and pretended to cry. Then you four can live well. I won't bother you anymore. After that, I hung up the phone. For the next few days, I stayed in the hotel. No matter how Jeong Song tried to find me, I didn't see him. Then I heard that Soo Exayan was admitted to the hospital. Jeong Song drugged Soo Exayan to have an abortion. When she was found, Soo Exayan was completely drowned in blood, and she was already dead. Jeong Song was really cruel, but Soo Exayan was still rescued. On the phone, Jeong Song was like a madman. Xiaoyu, I have aborted Soo Exayan's child. You should forgive me. I admired the new manicure for a while, and waited until he was done with his madness before I spoke lazily. Jeong Song, I've thought about it. The result is that I still don't want to forgive you. Just stay with Soo Exayan. She really likes you. Jeong Song was stunned for a moment, and then began to beg me. Xiaoyu, what are you talking about? I aborted my child for you. This must be a test you gave me, right, Xiaoyu? I don't like Su Xian at all, nor do I like the child she gave birth to. I only like you, Jiang Song. I interrupted him. Why do you think I would want a cripple? There was silence on the other side for a moment. And then Jiang Song's sharp curses rang out. Shen Yu, you bitch. I killed the child for you, you venomous woman, vicious. I was too lazy to listen and hung up the phone directly. I sorted out the evidence of Jiang Song and my love, found the voice messages that Su Xian sent to me to provoke me, and added the photos of the two of them checking into a hotel. I made a PPT and uploaded it to the forum and super topic of Jiang Song's school. Jiang Song and Su Xian became completely famous in the PPT. I wrote clearly from beginning to end how Jiang Song slept with Su Xian, a good sister, when discussing the wedding with me. Finally, I wrote a paragraph. In the first year, during the college entrance examination, you gave up the college entrance examination for her and chose to repeat the year. In the second year, I was looking forward to you coming to my school to fulfill our promise, but in order to be with her, you indulged her to tamper with your college entrance examination wishes. In the third year, I was going to hold a wedding with you, but you started dating her frequently and went to a hotel to get a room. Now you have a child, and you still want me to accept both of them. Jiang Song, I am not a fool, and I am not without temper. You always say that she is your sister. But how can a sister send a voice message to threaten me to break up with you in high school? At that time, I ignored her threat. Now think about it, if I had known this, I should have broken up with you at the beginning. Jiang Song, let's break up. As soon as the PPT came out, netizens went crazy. Soon, Jiang Song and Su Xian's personal information was exposed. Jiang Song tried to defend himself by saying that I killed his child, but no one sympathized with the mistress and the scumbag, let alone their child. Moreover, the scumbag had no intention of repenting, but instead felt sorry for the product of the cheating. Netizens were even more angry. Some even said that they would report Su Xian for tampering with other people's college entrance examination wishes and send her to jail. During that time, Jiang Song and Su Xian became rats crossing the street and had to wear sunglasses and masks when going out, affected by public opinion. The school also persuaded the two to drop out. Su Xian, like in her previous life, could not go to any school, but Jiang Song was different from his previous life. He could only pack his luggage and leave the school with Su Xian in disgrace, with nowhere else to go. Jiang Song called me. He first asked me to forgive him, and when he saw that I was unmoved, he became angry. Shen Yu, don't you see what kind of person you are? I am glad that I am willing to have you. Isn't it just sleeping with someone else? Which man hasn't done this? Why are you making such a fuss? I tell you, Su Xian is better than you. Don't you just have a few stinky money? 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west, just wait, I said lazily. Jiang Song, don't you dream that your child is looking for you to kill you? I am indeed not a good person. I am not as good as you, and I killed my own child with my own hands. By the way, I haven't paid the rent for the house you live in since last month. Remember to make up for it. And the money I lent you before, it's more than 100,000 yuan. When will you pay me back? The other party's breath trembled. And the phone was hung up. Zhang's mother also called me, and she just scolded me for killing her eldest grandson and dying a miserable death. Auntie, no one understands the meaning of a not a good death better than me. It was me before, and now it's your turn. After that, I never talked to her again and blocked her directly. After that, I never paid attention to Jiang Song and Su Xian again, and only heard about their recent situation from others sporadically. Jiang Song didn't want to repeat his studies and stayed in the city to work. After Su Xian was taken out of the hospital, she forgave him for aborting her child and stayed with him completely. Both of them were idle and unwilling to do hard work. Jiang Song encountered many setbacks when looking for a job. Few companies were willing to hire a person who dropped out of a second-tier university halfway through, even if he passed the interview. The company's people would search his name on the internet and see the good things he and Su Xian had done, so they rejected him again. He thought that because he was a cripple, the company's people discriminated against him, so he beat up the HR and stayed in the police station for a few days. Now he couldn't find a job, because I had been supporting him for a while. He spent money lavishly and soon spent all his father's pension. Zhang's mother had to work to support him when she was nearly 60 years old. However, considering the time, those people should come to the door. When I answered the phone and heard that it was Jiang Song on the other end, I was not too surprised. Shen Yu, you bitch, you borrowed the money yourself. Why do you want me to pay it back? Let these people go. I could still vaguely hear some people's impatient urging voices on the other end of the phone. Jiang Song promised repeatedly, turned around and lowered his voice to yell at me, pay back the money you borrowed yourself. The money I lent to Jiang Song before was all online loans borrowed with his ID card. Now the time is up, and the creditors are only asking him for money. I pretended to be surprised. Didn't you spend all that money yourself? Besides, you said at the beginning that you would pay me back all that money. Why, you don't want to pay it back now that you have changed the creditor? Jiang Song choked for a moment, then roared, I don't care, you borrowed this money. Come here quickly, Jiang Song. Sometimes I really wonder if your brain is full of shit, I sneered, ignored the roar from the other side, and hung up the phone directly. I didn't expect Jiang Song and Su Xian to be so crazy that they kidnapped me. When I woke up in the dim room with my hands and feet tied, I was still a little unresponsive. A sneer came from the darkness opposite, you're awake. A dull pain came from the back of my head, and then I remembered what happened. When I was at home yesterday, someone called me to move the car in the parking lot. As soon as I arrived at the parking lot, I was knocked unconscious. Jiang Song. I tried my best to sit up straight and stay calm. Are you crazy? You kidnapped me. Do you know how many years you will be sentenced to? Jiang Song walked out of the darkness, his face numb. Go to jail. Those people said they would chop off my hand. Shin Yu, you forced me to do this. I just want money. Your family has so much money. What's wrong with giving me some? I took a deep breath and looked around. Where's Su Xian? She should be your helper. Jiang Song nodded. She went out to buy food. Jiang Song seemed to be emotionally stable. I closed my eyes and thought about countermeasures. Jiang Song's eyes were empty.